Exciting! You're in magic. I'm super pumped that you have come across from the 12 days into magic. This is where it all happens. You have started your journey, and I am here to help you get results. Now, the most important thing is it starts now. You have 4 weeks access. It starts from the day that you join, regardless of where you are in the 12 days. We're not losing any of that 12-day opportunity. We're actually maximizing it. So wherever you are in your 12 days, continue to stay in that group and follow the instructions and the lessons, because we're still sticking to those exercises and yoga as in that first week or second week of the 12 days anyway, and it's the same in the first week of magic. So you're not losing anything. I want you to start here. This is the app. We're going to scroll down. You're going to jump in to this portal. This is your magic portal. This is where it all happens. You want to start here in the start button. Now, in your emails that you're getting, it's going to remind you of this is where we start. Under start here, you need to fill in your onboarding form. This is a legal requirement, but it also helps me understand a bit about you before I speak to you on our onboarding call, which is the link below. So complete your form, then go straight in here and book that onboarding form, or doesn't book your call and then complete the form. Either way, it doesn't matter. I want you to book your call straight away. Don't wait till the end of the 12 days. You need to do it now because you're losing precious time in the access to this portal. So book in your call ASAP. Don't delay 3, 4, 5 days. No, I want it tomorrow. If you can't find time in my diary, literally message me. I will open up space for you if I can. So they are the 2 things that you need to do right now. Once you've finished booking your onboarding call and completing that form, in the email, it's going to say, I want you to start in these learning modules. The learning modules are literally going to take you from your 12 days and into the deeper understanding of the methodology. Now, I'm drip feeding you this over the 4 weeks, okay? So I don't need you to do all of the learning all at once. I just need you to do modules 1, 2, and 3. In total, they only last 30 minutes. So you can literally do it whilst you're brushing your teeth, cooking dinner, getting dressed, sitting in the car, driving to work, whatever. You just listen to these and it'll just tick you through. And the most important one is 3, because module 3 takes you into what we call the sweet spot, the metabolic sweet spot. Okay, so this is all about how we're going to be eating over these 4 weeks. It's going to then take you to the shopping hack guide, the frequently asked questions about food, your meal plans, all of that. Okay, so I want you to do those 3 before we jump on and do our onboarding call, which shouldn't be too difficult. Now, I want you to also jump into the private WhatsApp group. So this is your new Magic WhatsApp group. This is going to be 2 groups that you're running simultaneously. If you haven't finished your 12 days, you're still going to be in Magic at the same time. Or if you finish the 12 days, great, jump into WhatsApp group Magic. This is where we share and care. Now, everybody in this WhatsApp group will be at different stages of their 4 weeks, okay? So I'm not going to be prescriptive about what exercise that you are doing tomorrow, what yoga you're doing tomorrow. You should already know that based on the learning modules and also the 12-day journey you've been on, which tells you we're doing alternating exercise days. A, B, and C gets done, alternating days with yoga breath work. Now, of course, there's 7 days in the week. We don't have even days in the week. So it's going to change, but also be conscious you can adjust that to your work, to your lifestyle. Like if you know that you've got something on every Tuesday morning, which means that you can't do the exercises that day, or then you make your exercises Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, or you can change it so that it's every second day you're doing an A, B, and C, and every second day you're doing a yoga and a breath work. That's how I do it. Anyway, hope that makes sense. So you're going to stay in phase 1 exercises for the first week of Magic, which is also the same exercises that you're doing in the 12 days. So there's an overlap here. There's nothing new that you're missing out on. If you move from 12 days into the Magic, you're still staying the same, because you know what? We need to build you up. So jump into the exercises. You can follow the 12-day itinerary as it is, or you can use it here. So 1, 2, and 3. Now, in your second week of Magic, you can move up to phase 2 exercises, and you stay on the phase 2 A, B, and C workouts for the rest of Magic. So that you've built you up from phase 1, moved you into phase 2. And then you'll find also in here that I've got a seated wall workout, which is handy for those who might have niggling back issues or knee issues that requires them to sit down. So please use that as an option of one of your A, B, and C workouts, or if that's all you can do, then stick with the seated wall exercises. You'll see an additional cardio burnout here. So alternate between ab and cardio. These should be bolted onto the end of your workouts. This is where you're going to get a final little fat burning boost. Before you know it, 5 minutes is over. If you haven't done a burnout, then do it, and you'll be really surprised how quickly your fitness improves, but also how easy it is to get done. And then for all of you who love to do a little post-workout stretch, I recommend this, especially for those building up their strength. Here's a nice guided 10-minute post-workout stretch, which you can do also on a rest day too, if that's something that you'd like to do. Now, with your yoga, we still have the root chakra, which is always an important one, but I've also added in your solar plex yin yoga. This is great for your digestive system. It is amazing for your willpower. It's a nice one also for those who are finding that they want to mix it up a little bit between the root chakra and the solar plex chakra. Now, I have for those yogis out there a 30-40 minute Ashtanga style beginner yoga flow class. This is a little bit stronger, builds up the heat, a good one for those who have time for a 40-minute yoga class on a rest day to move energy, but also a great one for the weekends when you have a little bit more time to settle into a nice practice. I have the breath work, the Nadi Shodhana, the 4-7-8, and the chakra cleanse meditation that you would be familiar from the 12 days. Now, the main one here is that we're into the diet module. Now, I want to keep it really, really simple for you. Stay on meal plan 1 for the first 2 weeks of Magic. Just get used to it. You know, you'll have food left over, you'll get into the hang of it, and it just makes it really easy. Now, remember, this download plan 1 is based on a serving for one person. If you have a family, like most of us do, you will want to use the adjust serving size button because that allows you to go into the meal plan. So let me just open up the download first so you're familiar with what the meal plan looks like for one person. Gives you a nice little explanation about how we use a meal plan. It shows you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So start on the day that you are starting, right? So you get a nice flow through. You'll see here that the shaded boxes are your leftovers, which is explained also in the guide. So, for example, you're making the frittata, it'll be a serving for 3. You've got leftover for Tuesday and Wednesday. You don't have to remake it. The berry smoothie, amazing for those people who love smoothies. That's an option for Thursday and Friday. And then on the weekend, bacon and eggs. Who doesn't love bacon and eggs? Now, if you don't want to do a smoothie, that's okay. You can do bacon and eggs or the frittata that day. Or if you don't like the frittata option, you can do a berry smoothie every day. The macros for the carbs in all of these are very, very similar. So it's pretty flexible. You'll just want to make sure though, so always check the nutritional panel in the recipe provided to make sure that you're not going over. So you'll see here that I have counted the carbs for every single day. If you follow the meal plan as it is, you don't have to count anything. The carbs are all very, very generous. They're under our Goldilocks zone. Now, if you don't like mushroom, don't eat the mushroom. If you don't like kale, swap it out for spinach. If you don't tolerate garlic, don't put garlic in your meals. If you don't like salmon, swap it out for another fish or a different protein altogether, like chicken breast. I don't mind if you change any of the proteins here. So change it up. All these recipes would be great with any animal protein. Meat like beef, lamb, pork mince. If you don't like turkey mince, change it to chicken mince. If you want to mix it up, use beef mince, pork mince, lamb mince. This salmon cauliflower rice bowl would be great with chicken breast. So very, very versatile. It doesn't matter. I don't need to count proteins. We don't need to count fat. All we're making sure is you're not changing what the vegetables and fruits are. We're not adding any more fruits. We're not adding any more vegetables that are here unless they're in the allowed group. So in the FAQ, food FAQ tab, you'll see that you can add lots of greens. So if you want to add more bok choy, add more bok choy. If you want to add more spinach leaves, more kale leaves, they're all very low carb and very versatile. You can add them in. And they won't change your carbs. But if you add in potato, sweet potato, rice, remember this is all a paleo plan. There's no adding in things. In your recipes, it will say in the notes section, for example, with this honey garlic, you can add some rice. This is for your family. So if you're feeding a family, they're going to need carbs. You're not having the rice or the quinoa. You're just sticking to the ingredients on that recipe, and that's all you're having. Unless you're adding in a little bit more greens, that's fine. So ignore the notes where it says I have rice. I know it's confusing, but it's there to help you be able to, I can add rice for hungry husbands, hungry kids, flesh it out for them. But for you, we're just sticking to the ingredients in the recipe, okay? Now, another thing is that you'll see that the egg and lettuce wraps here are a fresh made meal for lunch. Now, that's because it falls after a fish meal. I don't like to have cold fish, so that's why there's like a fresh option there. But if you are like, I don't really like eating lettuce wraps or tuna wraps or whatever, like that's totally fine. Make sure that you're making an extra serving of the dinners and freezing it for you to take to lunch the next day. So you've made a leftover here for the next day. Just make an extra leftover, 2 leftovers, so you've got one the following day as well. Or if you're like, I can't make a different dinner every night because I've got footy on, I've got this on, I've got children on, blah, 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 then pick 3 of those meals that you know you can make double of and batch make it up, freeze it off, pop it into the fridge, have it ready, done and dusted, then keep it really simple for yourself. The idea here, guys, is that we have to stick within the rules, which are the Goldilocks rules. The under 80 grams of carbs a day. So if you are matching it all up and kind of like trying to fit it into your schedule, awesome, because I want you to be able to trust the process. All you need to do is, you can see here in the recipes that it tells you the carb total for that meal. So if you were eating that serving size per serving, the rocket and mushroom frittata is 3 grams. So just count your carbs that day. If you're changing things around, just go to that recipe, add up all the carb per servings, and then just double check. If you're having any troubles, let me know. But every single recipe here has the target, the carb macro listed. 3 grams, 10 grams, 4 grams, 3 grams. There's our muffins. Everyone loves the muffins. 13 grams. Here's the 18 grams for the honey garlic chicken. See, it says serve with rice here and more vegetables. The rice and the quinoa is for the family. You could add a little bit more broccoli, a bit of bell pepper or spinach. That's probably not going to tip you over in terms of carbs because they're all pretty much low carbs. You can see here that steamed bok choy that you're adding already is about 3 grams. So you can see if you doubled up that, you would get an extra 3 grams. Do you understand? So I'm trying not to make it too difficult. If you just follow the meal plan as it is, it'd be perfect. But if you have to make adjustments, you need to make sure that you're just checking you're under 80. Okay? Now, the adjust serving size. So if you want to be really nifty and jump in to the actual software, you can jump down here. Say, for example, you've got 4 kids that are really hungry and a husband. So you've got 5 people that you need to serve for. You can see how I can use this toggle on the screen to increase the serving size. So you've got 5 people for dinner. Plus you're going to make sure you've got a leftover for lunch the next day. So you're going to do 6 servings. Now, if you wanted to meal prep and have a couple of extra saved over, then just increase the serving size, make the meal, freezer off those extra portions. You could use the big export button here to print it out and make your own little recipe book based on this serving size that you have created for yourself. Okay, so make it really easy for yourself. You know, same with the creamy coconut cauliflower. You make 6, 7, 8 servings of that, print it off, away you go. So that's how you use the meal plan, again, for those. And you're going to stay with meal plan 1 for 2 weeks before you move to meal plan 2 for the second 2 weeks. It's a little bit less forgivable, this meal plan, in terms of moving things around because we've got higher carbohydrates here. So this cottage stew, for example, per serving size, you can see in the nutrition plus 37 grams per serving. Okay, so you can't just eat that for 3 days in a row and not really check the nutritional panel for that. So you can see that the carbs are pretty close to 80, if not up at 81 for this. This Veneti Super Cedar bread is the only paleo bread out there that's lower carb, other than Primal Alternatives, which is another option of a bread. You can message me and I can share that link. There may be suppliers in your area. But just so you know, you need to count the macros if you're not following the meal plan as it's laid out. Now that's all the food part. Now let's go into the most important part. Just want to point out before we do that, there's food FAQs here. There's also a shopping guide under the magic materials, the same links that were in the module 3. The biggest and most important thing that you can do is your daily logs. If you want me to be able to get you through this with weight loss, I am aiming for 1 kilo a week. That is where I have been able to find the average over running this for years. Most women, when they follow the meal plan, the exercises, and we're getting everything right, will lose 1 kilo per week. So in order for me to make sure that you're losing 1 kilo a week and we're troubleshooting why you're not, this daily log becomes a daily importance. Get out of your head about weighing yourself every morning. It's not for you, it's for me, okay? So you need to get on the scales every morning and weigh yourself. I want you to do your measurements once a week. Every day, you're going to tell me how many hours you slept that night, what time you went to bed. Remember, we're targeting 10 p.m. What your energy is, your score is, whether you have bowel motion, whether you're menstruating, what exercise you did that day, whether you followed the meal plan or not and kept within your 80 grams of targets, that you're hydrated. And then everything else that happened that day, you're going to add to your additional health notes, like whether you had a shitty sleep, someone came into the room, woke you up, you couldn't get back to sleep, or you had a really bad day at work, you had an emotional day, you had something on that weekend and you had 3 glasses of wine. Whatever it was that happened that day, that's going to help me visualize everything that happened so I can associate that with that day. Because when I see you in your second coaching call, basically I'm going to export this into a big spreadsheet and I'm going to be able to look through all of these metrics on a day-to-day and be able to pinpoint exactly how your body is responding to it. So it's very important that 1, you do your daily logs. 2, that you flesh them out and fill them out. And 3, get measurements in and photos in. It's going to help you visually and also emotionally attach to the outcome. It's a really powerful tool. Now, you do your logs at the end of the day. If you're thinking, shit, I mucked up, I messed up, I have to change something in that log, then you can go over here to the left-hand drop-down menu, go to your profile and coaching content, and right down the bottom, your log history is sitting there, and you find the log that you mucked up in. So say it was this log, you're going to go over to the big cog wheel, click edit, adjust the error, go right back down the bottom, submit it, and that log has now been completed. You can go back in and do the next day's log once you're there, okay? So because I see hundreds and hundreds of daily logs a day flick past my screen, I am not going in there personally looking at your daily logs. I just can't. There's no time in the day to do that. I'm expecting that you're doing them so that when we have our second coaching call, they're all there ready for me to analyze. Now, that doesn't mean I can't give you day-to-day coaching and support. So if you are like at the end of 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, and you haven't lost any weight, I need you to message me straight away, either in the WhatsApp group, in the private message group, in the app chat, doesn't matter. I will see it. Email me, email support, and just say, Carly, can you look at my daily logs? Something's not right. I'm not losing weight. Because I need to be able to jump in there very quickly and figure out what is going on and give you a remedy or solution or next steps, okay? So I am here for you every day, but I am only as good as the data that you put in that daily log. If you do not put data in every single day, if you only are doing it once a week, I'm not going to be able to analyze that for you. I can't figure out what metric you missed out on in order to give you advice on. So in order for me to be able to be the best coach for you and to meet the investment that you've put in time and energy and finances into these 4 weeks, you need to follow the process and get the daily logs in. I know you can do it. It's worked for hundreds and hundreds of women. I know it will work for you too. Okay, so recap. You're sticking on the phase 1 exercises. You're either following the schedule if you're still in the 12 days just to kind of get you in the groove of it. Otherwise, it's alternating days, A, B, and C, with a yoga or rest-based activity in the second day. You are following meal plan 1 for the first 2 weeks. You are also logging every single day your progress, and you have booked in and completed your onboarding form straight away. I'm hoping that this has all explained it. In the onboarding call, which I hope that would be tomorrow for you or the next day or whatever, as soon as possible, I can answer any extra questions that you didn't get from this quick little video introduction.